in this video, we're going to cover all the new updates that arrived from Power BI's December 2020 update, including features like the ability to create composite models using direct query with Power BI datasets, small multiples, which lets you split your visuals into multiple versions of itself, sensitivity labels, which lets you label your reports to add an extra layer of security to your more confidential data, small feature updates like extending the anomaly detection to mobile phones, and some interesting template apps included in this feature summary. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fernan and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel, where I focus on teaching beginners the wonderful world that is Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. So last week the Power BI team released their monthly feature update, and as usual, tons of new features that comes with it. So in this video we're going to cover some of my highlights. And before we start, don't forget, if you want to use any of the features that we cover in this video, you'll need to download the December 2020 version of Power BI. I'll leave a link in the description box below for that. The first feature is the ability to use direct query with Power BI datasets, essentially allowing you to add more data into the same data model. It sounds a little bit confusing, especially if you don't use it like this, so let me break it down for you. Imagine having a dataset for a report published in your Power BI service. It has its own data and calculations that the report uses for visualization. Let's say you want to reuse this dataset for a different report, right? Well, in Power BI Desktop, it allows you to connect to other datasets in your Power BI service. The only problem is, once you're connected, you will see that other options to get data will be disabled, which essentially removes your ability to add new data and combine them with the dataset's data. Now, cue in this new feature. It lets you connect to Power BI datasets as sources and at the same time import your own data to combine it with the same data model. I actually deal with a lot of lean reports using shared Power BI datasets, and not being able to build data on top of them has become a little bit of a pain point for me, especially in my report development. So I'm really excited to start playing around with this feature. Just don't forget that it's still in preview, so make sure you enable this in the preview features so you can start using it. The next feature I want to cover is the new small multiple visual, which allows you to split column charts into multiple versions of itself, allowing you to see a new dimension to your data. This is pretty much the main advantage of this visual. It lets you see a third dimension of your visual effectively without making your charts look too busy. Using it is pretty simple. First, you'll need to enable it from the preview feature settings, since it's a preview feature. Once you've restarted your Power BI desktop, on your column charts, you will see a new small multiples well in your fields pane. The field you drag here will be the partition of your small multiples. You can control some of its properties from the format pane, like the titles and grid layout. And by default, the grid layout will be a 2x2, which can go up to a 6x6, but you'll be able to scroll down for more if it exceeds the layout, so keep that in mind. Storytellers using Power BI are gonna love this feature. Typically, I use slicers and filters to show a different dimension to my data, but I realized that that kind of visualization doesn't really give you a bird's eye view of your data in their different dimensions, quite like the small multiples, so I'm really excited to start using this. The next one are the new sensitivity labels for protecting your report files. In your Power BI Desktop home ribbon, you'll find a new option to classify your PBIX files with different sensitivity labels, similar to how you would protect Excel, Word, or PowerPoint files. This means that when your report is uploaded into or downloaded from the Power BI service, these labels will be inherited. Labels can have encryption applied to it, which I think is a great feature, because it sounds to me like sending PBIX files around can now be controlled pretty easily with this new feature. Obviously, it's always recommended to share your reports through the service, but sometimes you have to send PBIX files. And once you've sent it, there's not really an easy way to control who can access this data. But now with these new sensitivity labels, it sounds like we'll be able to encrypt our PBIX files before sending it through. And I imagine if someone doesn't have the correct permissions, they won't be able to edit or view the data in these report files. So really looking forward to this new feature. Next are a couple of small updates that I think are worth highlighting. The limit of data points you can select with the rectangle lasso select has been increased to 3,500, so you can select way more data points now than before. Selection pane is now available on mobile layout view. This gives you a better control to your visual layers, similar to the normal web layout. You can now set automatic page refreshes for direct query sources, which is great for live dashboards. The new feature is called automatic page refreshes, or APR for short, and there are lots of caveats to this feature. So if you're looking to start using this one, read up a little bit more about the feature first. I'll leave a link in the Microsoft documentation for this down below. A new layout for the home list in Power BI service, which gives you a list view of your recent shared with you and apps, making your experience to the service a little bit more simpler. If you're a Power BI admin, you'll now be able to create a custom publish message, which appears to report authors before they publish to the service. You can use this to give warnings and notify users before they publish reports. Dark mode support is now available for both iOS and Android devices. You should be able to configure this feature from the settings. I do wish that dark mode support was available for Power BI desktop and service as well, so maybe for the next update. Anomaly detection was a really neat feature that was released just last month, which allowed you to use AI to detect spikes to your data and provide natural language explanations automatically with a couple of clicks. This feature now works for mobile devices, so you're able to view these in mobile view layout. If you're interested in anomaly detection and how it works, I covered this extensively in a different video, so check it out. The last thing that I want to cover in this video is actually a template app released by Avanade, which helps evaluate organizations' analytics maturity. It's a simple 10-question survey that works as a self-assessment tool and at the same time demonstrates the capabilities and flexibility of Power BI. It caught my eye because this kind of assessment is such a great tool, especially when you're pitching for new client work. It lets you better gauge the work that's needed to be done and helps you estimate prices better. It's a really simple yet effective implementation of a Power BI report. So great job to Avanade for building this. And those are my highlights from this month's update. Any new features that you're excited about? Let me know in the comment section down below. Give this video a like if it helped you. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Get in touch using the social media links that I included in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Merry Christmas and see you again on the next one.